right, I think this is the beginner. So quite a few people did beginner again today. Just 6 or 7.
You shouldn't be doing it anymore.
I think you were one of them, Ed, so I don't think you can say much. But yeah, ideally, yeah, we'd be moving on to intermediate React. But if you were struggling a bit with intermediate React, then there's no harm in doing beginner, right? So, scores. I don't really want to zoom out, just in case I lose my zoom again. It's been playing up a bit today.
That's beginner?
So that, I believe, is beginner, but I think Kate probably just did 2 questions on beginner at the end or something. Yeah. Oh, must have been 3.
I thought it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kate's usually at the top, right? So we're questioning why she's at the bottom of beginner, but it's just a time factor. She did intermediate first.
It's not so easy.
But beginner's not so easy, right? Okay. Yeah, your brain was fried from intermediate. Yeah.
I'll try beginner.
All right. What did he say? No, yeah, we are. So Seb was at home today as well. 55. Looks like question 3 and question 5. Seb got stuck on. Let's see if that's common. Question 5 definitely for Raj, but was that a timing thing again for Raj, or you would like to say so, but maybe not? Yeah. All right.
This score's going to take so much of my time where I need to just go to
Sure. Keyvon got all 5 on beginner. Question 4 looked like the toughest for Keyvon, so I think it just depends on the person, right? There's no obvious hardest one today. Ahmed got his podium on beginner. Nice one, Ahmed. All 5. Kieran's still going for those wins on beginner. He always has to get in there. Second today, Kieran, but really close. Question 5 was the toughest one for you. And that means Bilal was the winner today on beginner. So, nice one. Alright. Good stuff, guys. Some really good scores there again. Let's see how the crucial intermediate went. Oh, elegance. Why is the elegance so low, guys? You get a chance to improve this at the end. Was it those lists just confusing you with too much stuff going on? I'm going to refresh. 3 players are updated, but I still think the elegance is not looking any better, unfortunately. That's what I was trying for. Alright, let's have a look at the ranks. Edwards, you saying at the bottom, Ed, or at the top? Oh, so Kieran maybe only just got onto intermediate. He shut himself off on his headphones again, so I can't question him. And Bilal, similar thing, right? They put all their efforts and energies into beginner, so only just getting onto the intermediate.
No, I tried to do the question 1, but didn't work.
Yeah, question 1 wasn't the easiest, I guess, if you're not used to that design pattern. Ahmed, similar thing. How did the intermediate go, Ahmed?
I tried 3 things, I couldn't get a single answer.
No, couldn't get those. Alright. And Ed managed to get 1. Number 2. Good stuff. Catty, it was close to 40, right? At least it was close to 40 still. You were worried that it was going to be way, way, way below. No worries. You got 3 questions in the end, yeah? Question 5 took a while. I know we had to look at that one together. And Jack. Nice one, Jack. You got the plus 40. That's what he was going for today. He was panicking. His brain just went on one of these questions, but he managed to pull it back. And a sort of looking camel again, right? The camel's head's a bit droopy today because it got a bit worried that it wouldn't get the score above 40, but other than that, it looks pretty solid. And for the podium on intermediate then, who have we got left? We've got Kate, we've got Kelly, we've got Kate, Kelly, Faraj, Esteban, I was going to say, but that's 4 people. Huh. Faraj, no, you're right. You got a solid podium there. He matured with time, right, Faraj? Yeah, nice. So you got better as you went on? Yeah. I thought so.
Of course.
No, I think it's...
No, you completed it. I saw you.
Your elegance, Kate. What happened to your elegance? Wow, we'll have to have a look why you got such low elegance.
Oh, no, you're going straight for expert, so.
Oh,
And Kelly today was the winner, so Esteban must have just hit the expert today. So well done, Kelly, and well done, everyone. Nice. Let's see if anyone did manage to get anything on expert. Don't think so.
it's dead.
It's definitely not well. It's definitely not well.
It's dead.
He attempted it though, because he came on and it said complete the challenge. I think he just like.
No, it doesn't look like anyone got anything on expert, but look, it's really tough, expert. I haven't completed all the expert ones yet. I keep meaning to get around to it, but
Well, he's not feeling well anyway.
one of these days. Yeah, and he's not feeling well, but good effort, guys. What did you want to go through most? Intermediate or some? Any beginner though that people want to go through just first? Now hold on, Ed. It's not just for you, Ed, right?
Just one, just one.
And you let me do it.
I
I said, I haven't told him beginner, I'm serious. I told him that.
Ahmed, would you like to review one of the beginner ones you said?
The beginner, no. Let's
No,
do
just
the-
intermediate?
Just one intermediate.
Okay.
Everything in intermediate, let's just go through.
Yeah.
everything is here.
All right, I'm happy with that.
And then also the logic of answering.
The logic of answering.
Oh, what you mean,
We might do a separate session for that, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's one answer that I didn't even know how. The amount of research I went
Can I go back?
through.
Yes.
Yeah, but. Oh, my head is spinning.
Ooh.
There's one thing
Didn't
going
mean
on,
to
something
submit.
like that, exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of these. Hopefully I can replay it. No. That's a bit weird. Let's try once more. So I should be able to click that one. It's not letting me, is it? Completed. Completed.
Just before lunch, so I was doing one of the challenges, and I completed it, and then when the scores come through, it's like bounce to the bottom.
Alright.
So I think something's happened on
Yeah.
on the server side.
That's happened to me a few times actually.
It's not filling through. It's all out shape.
So in can you check and if it's wrong, if the queue falls out?
Yeah, every time you run, every time you click test, the blue one, and it gets a red mark, then yeah, you get deducted some points. Right, have I got this? Okay, let me try just signing in and out again, guys. In and out and in even. It's almost like I'm doing the challenge myself for some reason. It says, well done for submitting. Well, shouldn't be able to as an admin. No. Let me try. Do you have that green button enabled yet, or is it disabled for you?
So again?
If you go back into the challenge, is that green button enabled for you to replay it? No.
The create just a game that has no global review place.
Can't even get into it.
You can't even get into it. So if I use my other account, it's just not going to be there at all, right?
Chess.
Chess. Oh.
Wait, you also have
Did I? I missed one.
which answer you didn't answer, guys? Did you answer all five? I don't know. I don't know what one you used. I don't know when you go and check the code.
You want to try an old challenge?
I want to try this challenge that we've just done. I only get that one as my last one. What's going on?
I think it's just updated.
But we had one on Monday as well that should be there, right?
I can see.
You can see it?
I can see results.
And you can see results. You've become the new admin. Okay, you can come and do the review if you want. Oh, why am I fourth again? Who else has beat me? It's not on. I need to do some more training.
This, in the same
lines when you start lines.
Promote. This is nice.
Right, we can probably work out what questions they were. We had.
That one is different. That one is.
Can I even review the code? That would be useful.
The first one is
Composing components, definitely. Then we had a couple of lists in there, didn't we? So I think we can work it out. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. If I can check that, that would be really nice. Yeah, cool. I can at least get your attempts at it. So I was talking about the first one with Jack, and he said, "Oh, that's what I expected you to do, Jack." So what was it you were talking about? You destructured the props here inside of the. Oh, okay, it's gonna. Anyway, so let's just do it via training, not JavaScript. Is it not called React? What's going on now? We'll get there eventually, guys, won't we? Intermediate. State composing components. Alright. So where did you start with this one?
Me?
Anyone? You can have a go, Bilal.
So we need to declare two components.
So why do you think we need two components?
Because of the variables, the wrapper. That's fine.
Yeah, these ones. So that means we need two separate components outside of our class.
Oh, really?
Yep. Whereas I think a lot of people were trying to put.
Is that what I was getting? Unidentified name and position.
Probably, yep. We can have a look at your solution in a second, Ahmed. But a lot of people were starting like this and then trying to put name inside and all those sorts of things, right?
Yes. I did that as well, but I changed it again and I tried to get the name from the state.
Uh-huh.
Still it said unidentified.
So instead we're going to get it from props. And you're going to return, yeah, let's say a div, it doesn't really matter, but you're going to return a div in each case with,
Last name.
I think it had name, and then the value of this dot props dot name. Okay?
If I remember, Nilofar told me when there is a stat, you need to put a constructor first, structure, and
We haven't even got to that yet, Bilal, but you're very right. Yeah, you're very right. You're even right, just right. And when we get to onto the state bit, we will have to put the constructor and call super and stuff like that. But for now, we're just meeting these very two first lines, the top two lines. So we're creating our two separate components.
Position, name to position.
Yep. So change that one to position, and change the props also to position. Fantastic. So that's that bit set up, and that will mean that down here we should return the text in the correct format, position colon and name colon, and then the actual name that we're going to get via props. Bilal said we need to use state inside of our class component. So we need a constructor, and we need to call super, and we also need some state. Inside of our state object, what properties do we need? Name and position. And they need to be equal to these bits of text.
I thought name will come up with its own name from somewhere else outside the code.
Nope, in this instance it's just hard coded. It was forward, right? Why is it red? Comma, yeah. Okay, so that constructor.
Same as super, you need semicolon.
Super's there on line 3.
The semicolon after these got to say.
Oh,
where you wrote.
semicolon, yeah, alright. Yeah. You know what I'm like with my semicolons. We say it every time. After the constructor?
Render.
Onto this sort of state, put the semicolon after. And the rest of that was the
What's up, Jack? You want me to put...
No, I just said the
Sem-
same.
oh.
Then bracket it, then bracket
So what am I returning from this function?
it. The 2 components are
My 2 components. Fantastic. One's called name, whoops, with a capital. And one is called position, fantastic. Do they have any props or are they just rendered like that?
props.
It should work.
No, it shouldn't. Definitely not. Okay. I'm going to put them in a fragment because there's 2 of them. I'm not quite sure why I get this weird red highlighting sometimes now, but anyway. So you're saying I need to use state? Yep. So for those who always forget how to pass props, or mine just goes a blank, right? Not looking at anyone in particular, he knows who he is. Then we just do the name of whatever prop we want. So in this case, the name is name. And put that in curly braces if it's a dynamic value or coming from state, if it's a bit of JavaScript, for instance. And then we just need that one there. How do we reference that one there? This.state.name. Fantastic. And we can do something very, very similar for position. Except this time we change our 2 names into position.
I have a question there.
You have a question? Go ahead.
Why after the name you have another name?
Why after the name I have another name? What do you mean?
On that name, you see, when you call the function name,
Yep.
and straight after that space you give it name.
Prompt name is name.
What
Right.
is that name?
So this is a tag, right? This is a tag called name, or a custom component in React. This is a component that we have made.
Yeah.
We've made that down here
Yes.
on line
The other
20.
one is the one on top.
This second name
Yes.
is a prop. That's how you pass props in React. Yeah, just the same as if you wrote class name in a div equals, yeah, whatever. That would create a class name prop equal to empty string. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Whoa, that's week 1, Ahmed. Like, get back there, lecture number 2 or 3 or something. Props are very, very important. Yeah, so make sure you know how to pass them around.
On a component.
Props on a component. Yeah. Either a custom one or one that React already comes with. Cool. I think this might work. Has anyone spot any errors so far? Some semicolons maybe somewhere, I think. No?
It should work.
I think you might need one there, right? And there.
Maybe semicolon after the return in the functions.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think you should have some there. But other than that, I think we might be okay. Let's test it. Dun, dun, dun. Uh-oh. Cannot read property props of undefined. Oops. Cannot read property props of undefined. So, yeah. I see where it is. What's wrong with our props? Being very silly. Where are the only 2 places we have called props? On the functions. On the functions. Why are we using this inside of our function? Unnecessary. Just props.name.
So we use this only in class.
We can use this inside of a function, but the way we're using it here, yes, this is only necessary inside of a function. This is only necessary inside of a class-based component. Yeah. Yeah. Let's try again. That's better. Any elegance? Oh, look at that. Semicolons all perfect first time, guys. Nice one. Good. Any questions on that solution? Straightforward now you've seen it. Yeah.
Understanding is straightforward.
Good.
Can you just do one more time? Why do we do the functions and what's on the left tells you that you have to do the functions?
Yeah, so why have we got two separate functions I think is crucial, right? And that is simply because when we're using the find method inside of our... Yeah, I mean that's a little bit confusing because you're mounting your component and then you're still looking for something inside of it. But essentially why I created two separate components was because in here I'm not finding any sort of known HTML tag like a div or a label, and it's not a dot name, so it's not a class name of name, it's not an ID of position or anything like that. It is simply got this word with a capital.
You assume it's a component.
So if it's a capital and it's highlighted in green, to me that says this is another separate component.
Just like capital is red, is green. And
Yep. So that's a component, that's a component, that's a component. Yeah. And we can't define other components inside of our class, right? We could only have them as a method of this. So I've put them outside instead. Good. Let's submit that and move on. I think number 2 is probably the one that people found easiest or not. I thought most people answered it. No. Anyway, we go through it anyway, Jack. Don't worry. The Walkman one. Oh no! Hold on, different. Yeah, because we weren't able to. Understood. So, can anyone remember what question 2 was? Because we've had to do it the old-fashioned way, right? Yeah, the sequence is out. So, salary. Ugh, salary is inputs. Was it? Or are you joking?
No,
it was. Yeah, I thought it was. Intermediate inputs. Number 2. Where's... Is it that one? No. Where's it gone?
it's number 2.
Oh, I've just skipped it somehow. Skip. Salary. Press me. Where have they all
Well,
gone?
that's a button, sorry.
Okay, so it's clearly not under inputs. It's under button, is it?
It's a button, yeah, button 2. So
Alright.
button 1 numbers.
Sorry we're doing it this long-winded way. I don't know why it's not accepting me to replay the challenge. Intermediate. Yeah. Button. Cool. Question. No, what? It's not button.
It's question 2 an input.
That's what I thought. Well, I'd just been there, surely.
Definitely. I'm looking at inputs.
I think there's something wrong with the system.
And the states.
No, it's definitely input fields.
Is it state or input? Huh? Let's see if I can replay the challenge again.
What do you say states? What states?
Is it display the expected sender of player? Sharp is right. It's input fields. It's question 2.
How come you can actually see it? You can't see the challenge, isn't it?
Look, the question is display the expected sender of player. The salary one. So that's the kind of question that we do.
I need to put that up to
Inputs play, skip. No, I click on inputs and it takes me to buttons,
I think
right?
it's because you. Oh, what?
You're in button.
Because you click play next test, that's why.
What?
Go back to input.
Oh,
Click play next test.
rather than replay.
Yeah. That's right.
Sorry, my fault then. Right, let's go.
Yes.
Input.
Input.
Input number 2. Input number 2. What do we need? We do need an input. Yes.
That's how it's done.
I just read the test from top down, so I'm going to create an input, and I'm also going to create a label. Type equals number.
Value.
You want a value inside the input or inside of the
Any
label?
value to equal whatever your state value would be.
Okay. Just leave it like that for now.
Yeah. And then you need an on change within the input as well.
Oh, it's jumping ahead.
Calm down.
Okay, so that's the first 2 bits passed. Get input.props.value to equal empty string. Yep, so on our input we need a value, and initially we want it to be an empty string. So people were saying do some state. Can I change this to a function? Does anyone object?
No, I think the state is the class is better.
You think a class is better? Ooh, controversial.
I use the class.
It doesn't mean it's better, Ed. But whatever you want is fine for now. I like using the use state hook for this. It just makes it easier and simpler for me. So we're going to have const.
Salary, set salary.
Yeah, let's have salary and set salary. Why not?
So we can do that with the change.
I'm going to do amount for now, just so that I don't call it the same thing as the component. Yeah, of course you can. You can change the JavaScript code on the right-hand side to whatever you want, as long as it passes the test. Yeah. So I got amount and set amount, of course, inside of an array. That is equal to my use state hook. What did we say the initial value was? Empty string. Fantastic. That's the state set up. So now we can just put our value equal to amount rather than this.state.amount. So that's nicer, I think. Get message.text to equal. What's the message again? The message is the label. So initially we expect that to equal an empty string. Does that change as well? Yeah. Do we need 2 separate states though, or can we just have one? I think we can just have one. So what did you put inside a label then? Did you write expected salary straight away?
Yeah.
That would hard code though, wouldn't it? Because you need to still be able to show that it's.
Does it still exist? Yeah, so you're right, it does need to be empty string.
So you make a variable for get message, which would like an if else or return to cover the fact that it needs to be empty or expected salary.
Okay, so where did you write your ternary?
So I made const get message
Const get message equals
amount.
my variable amount, yeah?
Then question mark return
So if we have got an amount, then
expected salary.
as a string,
Yeah.
expected salary, colon, huh?
Lowercase s.
Lowercase s, you're right.
Pound sign, then the dollar. Props.
I think the pound sign, yeah.
Pound sign before the dollar.
I think it's template neutral, isn't it? It should not be.
Yeah, I've changed it now to a template literal so that we can use that. And just amount.
Your amount in there.
Uh-huh. Otherwise,
But you need a pound sign for the dollar because it asks for £28,000 or 28,000.
Yep.
And then if not, then it's
Cool. So in here, we just type get message
In curly braces.
in curly braces. Thank
Call
you.
the variable.
All right. What else do we need? No, it's definitely not it. What about this line here? Where does that go?
In the input.
Goes in the input.
We need the input, yeah, that's it.
And what is it?
On change, so
On change event. Fantastic. Oops. On change equals. What does it equal?
set amount. E, yeah, so.
Let's give it an E so that we can access e.target.value, and we set the amount
Open bracket.
to e.target.value. It's getting a bit long, so I'm going to drop down my on change. That's fine. What's all this red about, guys? What have I done wrong? Or is it just complaining that I haven't semicoloned it or something? There we go. That's the new warning for the semicolon. Ricardo's got fed up with me. He's like, I'm going to highlight all your code red unless you put a semicolon beforehand.
Wouldn't it be, isn't it harder than red because if it was false, your ternary, then you'd get confused with the fact that everything else after, like the input and the label, would be included in that semicolon.
Maybe it didn't know when to terminate it. Quite possible. Anyway, is this going to work yet? Maybe. I hope you would say definitely not.
No, no, because
E.target.value. Yeah, that's fine.
That bit's fine. Yeah, yeah.
Missing some.
We add the E, yeah, the E.
no, you've got to return it.
We just haven't even returned anything yet. So let's do that.
Oh yeah.
I want to return all these JSX. Yeah. Boom, boom. Anything else?
That's it.
Nope. How many tags have we got?
Yeah, we need a D.
We need a div or something. Yeah, I'm happy to put a div for now. Make sure it's closing. How about now?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think I'm willing to test that now. Hey, green straight away. Nice work, guys. And no elegance either. Beautiful. Lovely solution. When we found the question, we could do it. Any questions on that one? So we just needed one thing in the state, a conditional message based on whether we've got a value yet for the salary. And then when we have 2 tags, 1 input, 1 label, make sure they have the correct text inside, and that was it. All good.
This question was in button.
This question is an input question. Yep. Input question 2, or hopefully you'll be able to replay the challenge on the platform soon. Question 3. What was question 3? It was one of the lists, I think.
The
Japan
radio.
one, no? Is it Japan one?
Yeah, it's that one,
Japan label training?
which I think is list training.
There's 2 list options, yeah.
I think there's 2 in a row, which makes things nicer. Click that one this time, Jack. That's the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we've been given a list. That list is passed as a prop down to our countries component. Unless anyone objects again, I'm still going with the function. So countries itself has a prop called list. What should I put in there? 2 options. I could either put props or I'm going to destructure list just so I can easily call list later on when I need to map over it. Get countries, we need a p tag and we need an input. Get filter input. Yeah, so I'm going to put the input at the top because to me, first we input something and then we display the countries. So let's return something. Or I assume we're going to end up with more than one thing. So let's have a fragment to contain those things. Firstly, I'm going to put my input so that we can filter things beforehand. My input looks like it needs an onChange event again, yeah, from this line here. Get filter input dot simulate change, and it definitely needs a value property so that we can capture the value. Do we need to identify it in any way? Nope. So we've got our value. That value, should we store it in the state? Probably, yeah. Is that what most people do?
I didn't do it.
Didn't do that question. I'm going to call it search for now. And it needs an onChange event. What does the onChange event do, guys?
Event, then character, set, whatever your state is.
Yeah, I'm going to call it set search. And that takes e.target.value. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
To everyone? To most people? Who am I not making sense to? Yeah. So what bit don't you understand? What the onChange is doing. So onChange is an event that's built into the browser, and that means whenever the value inside of this input box changes, then this onChange event is triggered. Yeah? What does the event do? Well, we haven't created it yet, but it's going to change the value of search, which is going to be stored in the state, and it's going to change that value to whatever is in the input box. e.target.value is going to be whatever is in the input box. It always is, yeah. So let's create our state next. So, const, what two values do I need? Based on what I've used below?
Oh, search and set search?
Yep, so search is my variable that changes, and set search is the method that changes it. That equals use state. What should it be to begin with? I don't think it's specified, is it? Okay, so let's just leave it as an empty string, because if we use an empty string, hopefully that's going to include all of our results. Alright. What next? We said we needed to map over our list. Yeah? Why do we need to map over our list? So we've got 3 countries inside of an array. Yeah, so at some stage we want to filter, but first I'm just trying to satisfy this bit. I'm not too concerned about the filter at the moment. Yeah, I agree we definitely need one, but I just want to satisfy that I can get three somethings displayed on the page. What 3 somethings do I need? So what is get countries here? We expect get countries to have length of 3. 3 what? 3 what tags? 3 p tags. Yeah, where did you get that from, Kelly? From up here, right? Wrapper.findP is assigned to a variable called get countries. Therefore, if we're saying get countries to have length of 3, that means we expect 3 p tags. Make sense? So how can we create 3 p tags? Well, I could use a bit of JavaScript. Note the curly braces because we're inside of our fragment. And I could take my list and I could map, I'm going to drop it down a line, I could map over my list, and for each, I'm going to call it C, but it's a country, I'm just being lazy. For each C, I want to return a paragraph, and inside of that paragraph, what do I want to display?
Jamaica, each country.
Yep, Jamaica, Japan, or Jordan. Each country is what in my map function? It is a string, I agree with that, but what variable name have I given it? C. So I can just put C inside of there, and that should display my country name. Any questions on that bit? Because the syntax isn't that easy to read, is it? Let's drop that one down a line so we can see that's the end of the list. So I think that on its own should display 3 countries. So it should pass the then. That should work. However, we've got no filter at the moment. Do you want me to run the code yet, or are you happy to proceed with it without seeing what works and what doesn't? Want me to run it? Yeah. Oh, okay, so that's not working. Expected to have length 3, but we got 0. Why? Let's have a look, see what we've done wrong. We need a return inside of here. Fantastic, yeah. We definitely do. Now, it passed all of those bits, so we got the correct text in each one, and now we're stuck here because we haven't done anything with our value that got changed on our onChange event. So that was when Bilal was suggested we need a filter, and I agree. Do you guys agree? Yeah? Good? I could be wrong, I could be lying. Right? Or wrong. Where does the filter go? What are we filtering on? On the map? So map.filter, like that.
After the list,
Yeah, after the list, right? So let's filter the list. What do we filter it with? So we're trying to, when someone types in the value of JOR, we want to filter our list of 3 countries to only the country that contains JOR, which in this case would be Jordan. Dot starts with, I haven't heard of that method. I'd be glad if it exists, but I don't think there's a dot starts with method. It's not in one of our prototypes from this morning. We should definitely use includes. What do I type then? Includes? Is that going to do it? Probably not. No, we can't just put JOR because later down we test JA and it still needs to work for that. So you're saying filter again on each country. Create an arrow function. I'll get rid of the brackets, we've only got one argument. Yeah, what do we do with that? So country dot, yeah, that will work, yeah. So country dot includes. E dot target dot value.
Is that right at the left? You just check.
Say again, Jack.
You just check on the left, because I think that's right, but I'm not sure what it was. Yeah, it is that.
Is E dot target dot value going to be defined inside of my filter? I think no, right? There is no E defined here inside of this. Even if I put an E here, it's still not going to work. I'll run it for you.
Would it be C dot target dot value?
See, it's a good try, c.target.value. It's not quite how the target property works. So target is one of these things that is assigned only to an event. There's no event being triggered by filter. It's just a function that maps over an array.
Shall we just keep a value in this and forget the target?
Nope. So what have we done? With our input box, we've already saved what e.target.value was. We've already saved what someone inputted, yes, and it was called search. So why can't we just do includes search? Yeah, that will be defined inside of our whole component.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense? Sort of, yeah. Search is a variable that is stored in the state. Am I winning you over to hooks, Ed?
You use states.
Yeah, it does, right?
We need to focus on that use state.
Hooks of the future, right? Is that what someone said earlier?
On day one, when you introduced to us, this is why I was like, we're going to stick with this, and you said,
I kind of like
we need to know the class first.
Did I say that?
Yeah,
I
we
kind of
need,
like
because it's most of the codes.
already know the structure.
Yeah, most of the legacy code will still have obviously class-based components, and some people will still use those. It's not a problem at this stage, but
So there were two talks to me at this stage, and there was 4 questions about React hooks, and then none of the talks were about React hooks. So like every developer is like wanting to either use it or start to use it.
yeah,
Like bitch.
yeah. The things are definitely shifting that way, so I'm trying to get you guys prepared, right, before you go into the workplace. Yeah, I even converted him, right? Well, it's installed on the platform, so that's a big step, right, to include the functionality for it on the platform. Are we going to test this code? Are we happy with this code at the moment, or are we still missing something? What are we missing?
Error we had was that filter one, and now we got it. But,
Okay, so let's run the code again and see whether it stops any further down, or it's all good.
that was the only error we had.
And
Far too short.
that's far too short. It's beautiful, elegant, right? You're not having that. What's it complaining about here, guys? The only elegance thing, missing key prop.
Yeah, you need to put that inside.
Where does it go, though?
Line 13 characters.
Which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Huh? Maybe I counted wrong. But it would essentially go
Inside the key,
inside the P, and we would give it a key prop. Right? This is how we define props in tags. Same for components. That's the clue I was trying to give Jack earlier, but it just fell flat on its.
It wasn't for them anyway.
I thought it was a good clue, but hey.
No, well, it was good for you. No.
For now, I'm just going to put the key equal to the country as well, right? It's not the best key to use, but it will shut up the elegance console, and that's all I'm concerned about at this stage. No elegance issues found. Still confetti time. Yeah, so again, it wasn't a huge solution. It was actually pretty concise. Just a lot of changes going on, right? A lot of events being simulated. Had to check the input box worked for more than one value, so we couldn't hard code it. That's it. Any questions? Good? Either you've had enough for the day or the explanations are going alright. I think this was also the next question. Music artist, was it? Again, this looks really bad, but it's not with the amount of code that you have to write. Once more, I'm going to change it to a function. Don't think we need... Yeah, we can get away with that. I'm just going to set up my function. Whoops. It probably needs to return something, I imagine. And it probably needs to return more than one thing being a list. So let's set that up to begin with. Cool. Semicolon even. Looks nice. We've got the template set up. what things do we need, what things do we need to return? Well, we've rendered our component, music artists. Ooh, what does music artist get? What does it receive? A list. What is list? It comes from the artist array, but what is it? If you count an array as an object, it could be an object, yeah, but it's like my key word for the day, I think, Jack. What is it?
Props.
It's a prop. So let's put a prop in so we can access it, yeah? And specifically, I'm going to destructure it again, so I don't have to write props dot, I can just write list. And I put the spaces in the wrong place, I apologise. Cool. Yes, so now we've got our artists being passed into this function and we can do something with them. What do we need to do with them? Well, these 3 lines tell us what sort of structure we need to give our component. So we've got an artist, we've got a name, and we've got a first album. What sort of identifiers are all of these? I think someone said it. Classes, yep. So not classes in a JavaScript class, but class as in a HTML class property, yeah? Class name we use in React. So I'm going to create, should I go for divs? I don't think they're fussy, right? I'm going to create 3 divs. I know we're probably iterating over some, but let's just for now create 3 divs. And they each need a class name. Capital N, right? Feel free to correct me if I make these mistakes. Say again, sorry? I will do, but I'm going to put the first one in first. You can come up and take the workshop at any time, Howard. I really don't mind. It's good practice for you. He's gone silent now. Yeah, come on then. Okay, so now we've got 3 divs. However, I don't think this is quite the structure that the question wants, but I know I need them in some format. Then comes the really complicated part of the test. Expect getArtist to have length the same as scenario.artist.length. What does that mean? So getArtist is this div with a class name of artist. So we expect, by the sound of it, more than one of these artists. How many do we expect? Well, the same as there are artists in each scenario. The first scenario is this test. How many artists does that have? Say again? Dos. I thought you were just saying props again. And how many artists does the second scenario have? 2 as well. So they're coincidentally the same in this case, but we didn't know that. So how do I make sure that I render a div for each artist? Remember, this is a list question, so it's probably similar to what we did last time.
Is it props dot map
You said similar things, Jack, but maybe in the wrong order. So Faraj has said, well, we can do list, because I've destructured it, dot map. And my map, let's say it's going to take, again, I'm going to say A for artist. And we want to return. See how I structure this out to begin with to make sure that I don't make any mistakes with where I'm putting my semicolons and my braces and things, yeah? It works for me. And I would also drop that down a line so that it's a bit clearer when things are getting closed. Maybe even drop that down a line as well. Alright, so I can now clearly see when my map closes, when my return closes, and so forth. What goes inside of my map? Well, definitely an artist. Yes, and now I'm making sure that for each scenario I return the number of artists that I need. That semicolon, let's get rid of that for now. So then let artist EL equals get artist at index. So in other words, we're just saying we want to consider a test for each artist in turn, right? For the first one, for the second one, just to check that they've all got the required elements. What elements does it need? Well, we need get artist name for each artist to have some text equal to the actual name in the artist object. And again, we need the same for the first album. So in other words, what I get from that is that these two divs need to be a part of my artist. Yeah? And we need to provide them with some sort of text. Yeah? So structurally now, that's looking very much like Street Fighter again, right? The callback hell sort of picture. Maybe I haven't showed you that yet, but it's, whoops, don't delete that. But I'm now drilling down to what I want. I've got an artist, I've got a name, I've got first album. Let's make sure the text inside of each one is correct. What should that text be? Well, name's the easy one, right? So we've already got the artist object available to us. So what should go inside of name? A.name, yeah. It's a bit of JavaScript, so make sure it goes in there. What should go inside of first album? A dot first name. First name. First album. Okay, but that would have been fine, except we've got this exists. So we want to check whether it exists based on the value of show details. Yeah. So this bit needs to be a conditional render. How are we going to make sure that is a conditional render? We can use and. So we could again wrap it in a bit of JavaScript and say a dot, what was it called? Show details and that div. So then this div here will only display if show details is true, because that's how the AND operator works, right? If show details is true, return the second element in that AND. If it's false, we're just going to return false, which means nothing renders to the page. Does that make sense? Can you see how I got to this code from all of that test? If you watch the video of me doing it again. Honest, yeah, thank you. Yeah, the first time I saw that as well, I just wanted to run away, and I probably did, and then came back to it later. So, well done if you if you did that today. Not running away, if you solved the question today.
When you done the A dot show details, you also done that the test was picked up. You done the ternary for like an empty value.
Yeah, absolutely. So you could do a dot show details question mark, return the div, else empty string or something like that. Yeah, of course. Or else false. Yeah, that would also work. But I find that to be neater, right? Why use the ternary if you don't need it? All right. Any mistakes? I'm sure there might be some. Has my return got a
No, it
semicolon?
doesn't. The second one doesn't, no. The one with the map.
I'll test it then. Whoa, green straight away. Nice one, guys. And we're just missing the key prop again. That was all. Where does it go? Without looking at the numbers this time. Inside what div?
Artist?
Yes, correct. So we could put our key in here. Equal to
Artist.
a dot what?
A dot name.
There is no a at the moment because I only define that inside of the. Oh yes, there is. Sorry, yeah, I defined it inside the map. A dot name, yeah, that works. Good. And then if I test it again, gone, perfect, wonderful. To me, well done. Thank you. Well done for those people that got it. I know some people did. So if not, hopefully that review will help you. Do you want to have a look at any other solutions? Catty's like, nah. This might be dangerous if we look at some other solutions of that. Let's zoom out. The chest we're going to do, don't worry yet. The chest of your one was very nice solution. This, so Kate I think has done pretty much the same thing. She just created an extra index so that when you're mapping over you could use that as a key. So that's totally valid, that's good stuff. Didn't destructure the props, so she had to call props.list, but not a big deal, right? Less lazy than me, used artist rather than A. Otherwise the solution looks almost identical. Kelly, did you do anything different? No, I think just slightly different layout, right? Destructured, yeah, destructured list. Use the index as well for the key. Still use the and symbol. Oh, I think that's good as well, right? Anyone do something drastically different? Jack loves writing a lot of code, so he used a class. What did you guys use? A class or a function? Function, nice. So I think Jack's is probably the same. He just had to use a lot of this dot, so it's a lot harder to keep the elegant syntax. He used a ternary down here. He said, can we use a ternary? Yeah. So that's another way to do it. Alright. Faraj, nice, you did a class again as well. It's a bit longer because you used a class and you also used the ternary again as well there. Yeah. So would you use the and in future, do you think, over the ternary? Yeah, I think it's a bit easier.
Used to the hooks as Ed said. I think when we started class and we started doing duplex like class, hooks is we had bits and pieces of hooks, but
Yeah, but a lot of the videos are in class based still.
but you can see the difference though.
Yeah. And that's the next question. Cool. So people either got that or it was too much for them, which I don't blame you. Yeah, so 4 people did what I did and ran away, and then the other 4 managed to solve it. So well done. And the last question, is that on buttons, guys? What is that? But it's composing components, do you think? I think it's probably going to be buttons. It has got a button in it. State or buttons? The chess one. Okay. I'm going to try buttons, but I'm not sure. Skip. Yes, we found it. Let's go with the function again. Why not?
Let's go with the function. We're going to call it use this time. The last one. This question 5 buttons.
So we have 2 things essentially, right? We have a white player and black player. So who's taking what chess pieces, right? White or black to begin with.
Yeah.
And then the surnames of the players. Cool.
Well, the surnames, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Fischer, Karpov, Carlson, Aronian. Does our component receive any information from outside?
Yes.
It does. What does it receive?
I can see from the black and white.
it receives 2 props, one called white, one called black. Yep, so we can put them in any order. So we got, oops. So we got black and white as our props. Again, I put spaces in the wrong way around.
You destructuring, right?
Yep, so I've destructured my props into black and white, so I don't have to keep saying props.black and props.white. That's all it does, yeah. Then we have some labels and a button, right? So 2 labels and 1 button. Should we put them in next? So I assume we're going to be returning all of that. I could be wrong, but we can change it if we need later. Let's put a fragment. Let's put a label. What properties do we need on this label, guys? Anything? How do we identify our different labels?
Class.
Yep, dot top and dot bottom. So therefore, we can identify them via a class name of, one can be top and one can be bottom. Whoops. Alright, that's our 2 labels, and then I'm going to put a button in as well. Any text needed inside the button? Technically not, but I'm going to put swap in there, yeah. Swap colours, swap sides, right? Does the button need anything? Actually, let's do this bit first, right? We're on here. The text.
It needs a click.
How am I gonna make the text inside equal black and white? Or the names, isn't it? The names of the black and the white players. Oh god, that's so much better. Sorry, why didn't I do that to begin with? I think you've all been following on your screen anyway, so. How am I going to get this in here? I know some of you did it. Or did you not do it this way? Is that why you're waiting for me to do it still?
Where the guys that did it?
Did it with a class? So what did you have in here for your class? You had this dot. Oh wait, I can zoom in one more. You probably had something like this dot state dot black and this dot state dot white, right? So we can do the same thing, except this time we just need to call it, was it white or black on top first? It was, black was on top first, and then, no, not to begin with.
No black on top.
Yeah? See? Get top player. However, white and black are currently not, well they are defined actually. They're defined as props. But if I run this, the first bit should pass, yeah, but then after the click event, nothing's changed. So firstly, let's set up the click event. I'm just gonna call it swap. Yeah, let's just call it swap. So then I need to create a swap function, which I could create, well, not in my return obviously. Yeah, let's do that, right? Const swap. equals an arrow function.
Is it an event?
No, so onClick is the event, swap is the event handler. So do you think we need we need an event passed to it? I don't think so in this stage. We're not using anything about the event object. Yeah, I think we need some state, right? So I'm going to actually create two state things. I'm going to create top, set top. I'll get you what the values are for those in a second, and then let's have the same thing for bottom, and set bottom, and that is equal to use state again. What values initially is top? We had it down here, right? It was black. No, it's destructured props, so not needed. So instead, then we can put just top in there, and bottom in there.
I think bottom you've got E.
Huh?
The spelling, you've got E.
Const bottom.
Ah, bottom. Good. Don't they need to be strings? Are they not already strings? So this should still, well, it might fail actually, but well, it will definitely fail. But what I mean is, I thought it would not compile, but it's fine. So we're still getting stuck at this stage, but what I wanted to check was whether the top two still passed. So that means we were correctly setting our value of top and white to begin with. Just our swap event needs to swap the black and the white pieces between the players, yeah? So how would I do that? Set state, so we've used the use state instead, so we're going to set top, and we're also, I assume, going to set bottom.
So you do white for top and then black for bottom?
I'm not going to use black or white anymore because I want to use the current value in the state just so that it always swaps and they keep swapping between them. Yeah? Actually, no, it wouldn't always swap between them, would it, this function? But essentially, the second time round, I want to set the top to what was the bottom and set the bottom to what was the top, right? And that's it done, I think. Test one more time. No confetti. Yes, good confetti. Semicolon. Oh, killed my perfect run.
What training was this one?
Buttons, number 5. So again, not too bad once you've seen it, right? A couple of bits of state. Still getting error? I guess your code isn't exactly the same then, Marvin. We have about 45 minutes left. In that time, ideally, I'd like to at least have a look at your Tmaps and just do a quick, what's up? Yeah, show it to the group, talk through what you've done so far, what challenges you've met, what you still need to do, if you're stuck anywhere, all those sorts of things, yeah? So, can I stop the stream of this one now? Stop stream but leave the screen on, okay.